Hi guys. So today we are really privileged to do something that probably I've never been able to do for a long time. And yeah, the energy is because the person I am hosting today is energizing too, just as the podcast is going to be energized. So welcome, I am your host. Today we are going to talk about toning down. So I know you're also shocked. Probably you don't know what toning down is, and I am also not in the light as you are, because I heard this from this specific friend, this particular friend, and she told me, Lilian, I'm in a period where I'm toning down. And I'm like, okay, you're turning, what is it that you're turning down? Are you turning down your voice? Or are you turning down your weight now that my friend is kinda has added weight? So I was like, what is she toning down? And yeah, when she told me what she was toning down, I was like, so there is something called toning down in this space. And today I want to invite you so that you listen to what toning down is. She's going to tell us where toning down comes from, where she had it from, and why she toned down, and how it was to tone down. So, ta-da! She is Esther Mwemvu, but now it is very difficult for me to call her by that, because I don't know her by that name. Her name is Sister Das. That is how I have saved her in my phone, because she's Sister Das and I'm Sister Lilian.
Yes.
So welcome.
Thank you so much, Sister Lilian. I'm really privileged for this opportunity to share about my experience in toning down. I remember when I told you about it, and for me it has been a journey as well, because I came to know that there's something that exists, and to even be in a position to do it practically for a whole year. So I'm really encouraged by what you're doing, and as well inviting me today, so thank you.
Karibu sana. So what is toning down?
So about toning down, I think maybe I can share from where it comes from. So for me, I got it from a program that I was doing called Angaza for an year, and it's a rule where we are advised to just tone down so that we may hear the voice of God, be in a position to relate well with other people, considering that is a program where different kinds of people, different genders come for the same. So what I can say about toning down, how I understand it, is a moment where you are limiting yourself from engagements, relationships with the dating relationships, so that you may focus on a goal. Sometimes people might focus on praying, hearing God, being in a position where you're also building a relationship with God with undivided attention. So the focus is shifting from cultivating those relationships to having solid time with the Lord and with other people, being able to interact well, genuinely forming genuine friendships that are going to last for life.
So you also toned down because you were in that program?
Yes, I did tone down because I was in that program for a year.
What if someone did not want to tone down, or was it mandatory for everyone to tone down?
So the rule was, if someone is in a relationship, because the people who came while dating, they were to work with accountability. So the relationship still continues, but their toning down differs from how maybe a single person can tone down. In that, for this kind of person, they're supposed to also show to give fair chances to every other people in terms of the energy they give. So if maybe they are dating and their spouse is not in the program, si kila wakati ni kumpigia simu hata her focus, you get. So their toning down is different, so that you're going to show the same energy to other people, have friendships, and also accountability. So the person whom they are dating should be they all should practice transparency, openness, so that they're also working in mentorship. So it was mandatory for us all to tone down.
Okay, but the toning down was kind of different for those who are dating
in those who are
now I really do get it. And Okay, I know it wasn't easy because probably there are people maybe you might have seen there and you are seeing their potential.
Yes.
And you have had a crush on them. And then boom, you're supposed to be toning down. Probably this person has been seeking advances and probably has been saying, let us meet at this time to just maybe have our time. But then what would have happened, or what happened at that point when someone is seeking advances and you seem to be interested in it as this other person, let me say it is a he, or maybe it is a she, is taking advances to a he. Like, now what happens at that time? Or is it you just tone down and you leave everything and then you say like, we are seeking the face of God in this?
So thank you for asking. That's a very, very, very good question. So about it, if someone maybe had an interest with someone, the limitations where you can't cultivate a relationship, so you're not going to make those advances. You might want to do some advances, you could see them, I mean, you're human beings. And yeah, it reached to a point that personally I had a crush on a guy on that program.
Hey, see that.
And my life was like, oh my God, this guy. But the fact that I remember I made a commitment to God, to the organization, to my friends, I'm like, yes, I'm going to do this with the help of the Lord. So what happens is we were working with mentorship, with accountability partners among us ourselves, and also mentorship. I had a mentor who I could go to, confide with, tell her what I'm going through. And the fact that we're not the first people to do this, it was also possible for them to help us be able to walk out that kind of a storm, because it wasn't easy, I'll be honest.
Yeah, and for sure, we are living in a world of dishonesty.
Yeah.
You can like lie, you can like be like, yes, I am turning down to other people, but because you have seen this guy and probably the energy is the same, you're like, let us just do this, but chini ya maji. So that
exactly.
you start doing like underwaters and no one knows.
No one knows.
But you are in front of people, you are like, we are turning down.
Yeah.
But so it is not easy, and I know it is not easy again to be honest in a dishonest world. And that was a nice commitment. Now, would you advise people to tone down now that we are in a generation where we all want to go? We just want to go. Like, I have seen this, and
I want to go.
Mostly you see like ladies nowadays, it is, I have had a crush on this guy, I go approach the guy, like, in as much as people should take time, like we are in a generation where people want to move fast, like hakuna ku waste time. You have had a crush on me, take it. Me too, we go. So really, what advice would you give to this generation about toning down? How important is it to tone down and to actually listen to the voice of God? And how do you listen to the voice of God concerning the people that we want to date or to have a relationship with?
So from my experience, in my toning down, I also got time to pray about also the partner that the Lord will give me, and to see what kind of a woman am I. When we look back at the biblical values, the biblical portrait of womanhood, when you read the book of Proverbs 31, the kind of woman who, the Lord talks about, and you're there asking yourself, am I really becoming this kind of a woman? So that if there's any other man who's praying for this kind of a woman, when the Lord brings me to this person, we can walk together in the glory of his name. So one of the things that also happens during the toning down, and it's very important, is that time where you're praying, and also biblical the biblical portraits of the womanhood are being instilled in you, in the manhood as well. And it's well when they are being formed while you're toning down, because you're not trying to meet someone's expectations, because sometimes when you're maybe in a relationship, you might think, I know boy anapendanga mademu anaomba just nini, so I might be looking towards that. But this time when I have just limited myself from those relationships, and I'm focusing on what God says a woman is, I will strive high to meet those expectations that God has put for me, the standards that God has put, so that if I am coming out of that a period, and that, like right now, I'm not toning down, I'll be able to have those values, maybe working on them, maybe starting to see this is the kind of a woman God wants me to be, and I'd also love to be the same. So that's what I'd advise many, especially us who are still young and even in ministry, so that we avoid cases like maybe hata hukusikia God na call, because maybe you said, I love that guy, whatever he's doing, I'll just go and do. Also, in toning down, it helps you hear the voice of God, especially when you're reading the scriptures as well, to be able to know what does God want me to do for my life. So that if I'm going to meet a guy who is having a different calling from mine, I'll be able to know if this is who God wants me to be with, understanding that it's his plan and he's going to outfold it. But hatujipeleki too because we feel like I love this guy, I don't care what he does, I love this lady and I don't care what she does, so long as I just love her. So that we are able to know, understand that it's God who brings people together, and he has revealed this to you, and it's compatible, and yes, we can do it. Yeah, and it has a lot of benefits, I can say. It also has its own challenges, but its benefits are those. Also, it helps you form genuine friendships. As I said, there's accountability. So if a friend of mine sees me with a certain guy every other time, they'll question me, they'll ask me, you want to tell me there's nothing going on between you guys? And if there is, what is it? And if it's a relationship, you guys are kind of going. And for such a program where you're many and you're there every other time, unaweza pata kila mwezi kuna mtu akona date, mara wameachana, mara sijui. So to avoid all those chaos, especially in a program, it's good to tone down.
I've just been thinking, like right now, in as much as you are toning down, you are speaking about it in a relationship manner. I have been just thinking in a few minutes, like, is it also good to tone down? Probably I want to do something, I want to get into ministry, I want to do a particular job, I want to sign up for something. Should I tone down? Like, in as much as I might not tone down for 1 year, for some period of time, praying about the job that maybe I want to apply for, is it good to tone down for probably a ministry that I feel compelled to go, or I feel a burden for? Like, is it good to tone down for other apart from just relationships? Is it good to tone down in other activities, say starting up your own business, enrolling into something, rolling into, maybe you want to do masters, but you want to do it, but you are not sure if that is the will of God, so you want to hear the voice of God. If it is okay, it is good to have masters, but is that the will of God for you to go do it? Like, is it good to tone down in other spaces?
Yeah, I think it is, but also working with God, it's advisable that just be walking with the Lord, so that you're not toning down when you're not supposed to tone down. You just say that, I heard it and I think it's good. Maybe that time God wants you to tone up and open your eyes and see, but if you're really working with the Lord, he'll be able to tell you, this is not the right time, this is not the time that I'm going to maybe give you a spouse, but I'm going to establish you and show you where you're going to work, a job, and you consider, okay, well, if this is a good time when the Lord is telling me about this, maybe I can just pause on this. Niseme, as for now, as I'm praying, my focus is seeking the will of God, maybe in a certain, if it's education and such. And I've heard it from people who have done it, and it has maybe gained fruits, because one thing I know is that God, hakuna kitu inamcatch by surprise. Like, he won't be like, I'm turned down, nafai. He's so faithful to tell you, at this time, yes, tone down, give your attention to me. Because once maybe you start a relationship, you might even end up fast forwarding things to marriage, and maybe forget that you even desired to do a master's or such, you get. And maybe that's why God wanted you to be. So I maybe advice on that, let people see, just be in a solid walk with the Lord,
so that
consistently reading your word and praying, so that when that time comes, it's the Lord who's going to tell you, by the way, this is the time to tone down, and within maybe he'll give you a time hopefully ama time yenye umeona mtu unarudi tu kwake uko like God. Is it you?
Yeah, there are times you just want the Lord to speak and be like, behold, I am the one speaking.
Yes, please.
Or you feel like the Lord should just come and sit on your bed here and be like, let us talk.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you for that. I have just realized that sometimes we might be toning down, yet we are not supposed to be
toning down. Yeah, and maybe we're just up and about seeking when it's all the time. Like I feel in high school, okay, maybe that's just a personal experience. Like in high school, like what was the point of dating in high school? I mean, okay, it's not bad. I don't regret, but I feel what was the point? As in, what was it leading to? It wasn't bad. And I don't want someone to think that, but still, let me ask, what's the point? So right now, I'm not the person who wed it. We are friends, but I'm feeling like, ata saizi, paths ni different. You guys can't like come together, whereas maybe one has decided to go this way, and they're so passionate about it. The other one is so passionate about what they're doing, but it's totally different things. I don't want to live in a life where maybe you're married to someone and they live where you live another place, just creating temptations which are not necessary. So thinking it was God saying that I should have toned down in high school. But you see, we didn't know about all this, and so I just learned about it last year.
And things happen, and it's like God was, just as you have said, God doesn't get shocked. Lillian was dating in high school. You see, like it's not like God was astonished or surprised at that. And all these seasons, they like come and pass, and the Lord walks us through them to teach us some things, and He lets us go into those things because He's the one who says there are some things He just lets you go through them, because now even if He talks to you, you haven't even known that the Lord speaks. Because if I remember my high school, I don't want to talk about it.
I know, right?
because it's when like in campus is when I'm understanding, the Lord speaks. He actually speaks. Because in high school I was like, I just can read the Bible, and that is all. That is final. So yeah, my listener, you have learned a lot, and you have now got a vocabulary. You can tell your friends, you see, there's this podcast called Toning Down. You can shine in your various places. And I have also known that there are times you're supposed to be toning up. When you're in probably you're in school and you want to tone down about some things, you're supposed to be toning up to prepare for your exams, not saying that you want to hear the voice of the Lord whether you should do the exam or not. Do the exam.
Read for your exam.
Yeah. So yeah, that was us. Thank you so much for listening. If it has touched your life, you could also touch another life by sharing the link and sharing this podcast over, so that helps someone who is supposed to be toning down right now. Someone who is rushing up to do things, he or she should slow down a bit and listen to the Lord, and keep constant relationship with the Father, because He speaks, and being consistent with Him teaches us or shows us that in all the time He's speaking to us through His word. If you're reading something or you're reading His word, there is an insight there that you're supposed to be picking it from, and that is where you will know where you're supposed to be toning up, where you're supposed to be toning down. So that was us. See you next time. Ciao.
Bye.